Establish your account in the last Wiley Plus orientation video. Now we're going to look at how to navigate your way around. And once we're at the home screen, we can check on getting started with Wiley Plus, and the EText comes up in this vital source EText format. And how to succeed in this course tells you basically how Wiley Plus works. Yeah, all the things that are available. And one of your first assignments has to do with navigating your way around and learning how assignments and homework works. A couple things that are custom here for KCC. Number one, there's a brochure about the accounting program at KCC, how it links up well and works in conjunction with UH West Oahu's bachelor degree program. A set of flashcards that helps you keep track of the different identities that you learn about accounts in Accounting 201, and also the account types, which is basically the cover page or the other side of the cards. And if you don't want to mess with this, or you don't have a printer but you'd like to have these things, you can always go to the professional image on Wiley Avenue near 7-Eleven and say, I want Kevin Dooley's debit credit cards. And you'll get pretty much the same thing. Getting inside of the class, we'll want to take a look, of course, at where the money is, which is how you earn your points, and that's in assignments. You can see them on the right over here, and we're going directly to the assignment section. And under the assignments, assignment 0 is the first one you're going to want to do. That's due very soon. And when you click on that, it'll walk you through 10 different questions with 1 point each about how to use Wiley Plus. And there's many available tries for it. So you should be able to get all 10 points for this. You can also use the calendar to help you manage the load, because that queues up all of your assignments by due date. May, stacked up here, the first several ones. And if you want to do any one of them, you can do, for example, adaptive practice. Open it up, click on the title of it. It'll take you to the actual adaptive practice, which really is being housed at some other site. So it'll pop you up, take you over to that other site. And there's a whole section in Laulima about adaptive practice and how it works and so forth. So you get started now on that, and keep in mind that there's a crude kind of artificial intelligence in this application that tries to tell whether you really do know the answers that you're giving. So read the details in Laulima. Back over here to the calendar again. If I were to go to a problem here, like problem 1-2A, for example, or an exercise or a brief exercise, and then open that thing up. And I can see, before I jump in and start trying to tackle this guy, I want to look at the resources that are available for me. And the e-textbook and the media will get me pretty close to what I need in order to do a good job on this. It takes me to the content. And here there's an interactive tutorial that shows me how to actually do the work that's needed in this section. Pop it open. Yes. Play that audio. And click this.
The system of collecting and processing transaction data.
And if I want to stop it, I can just click on it and continue on with my problem. Sometimes they are set up so that the first section must be completed before moving on. Complete this first section, and then once you're done with it, then you can move on to the next section. And I have flagged these for you in Laulima and in the Chapter 1 directory in modules here in Wiley Plus. We can move from there to our modules, and you can see them below. Essentially, they're all set here already. Click on it. It'll take me there, so that's the only thing I'm looking at. And it's really just the main content of it is just the chapter broken down. So I flagged a couple of the helpful tutorials that they provide in here, kind of added them in where they are otherwise buried inside of these things. So they're kind of special additions to Chapter 1. So I just showed you one of the interactive items. Here's another one right over here. The other thing is that you might want to go through here, and anytime you click on any module, the content of any module, you'll get a different kind of screen. That'll pop you into this screen here that has these tabs across the top for Learning Hub, which is where we are, resources, such as these, and place to explore. Now, Explore has a whole bunch of stuff in it. So there's the entire chapter as a tutorial. There's applied skills videos. There are Excel working papers and a bunch of videos across the bottom. The Excel working papers I may ask you to use later, and they work like this. You pop it open, just have to have Excel available, and tell it you want to enable your editing. Now notice here that there are a bunch of tabs across the bottom. If I was going to do, for example, problem 1-2A in Excel working papers, I could right click on this and see all my sheets, go down here, find problem 1-2A, and I realize, whoa, that thing has like 1, 2, 3 different tabs on it. So I'll click on the first one, go there. There'd be how I analyze my transactions and get my totals at the bottom. A place for making my income statement and retained earnings statement, and a place for preparing my balance sheet. All of that would be done in Excel instead of in the Wiley Plus environment. This is useful when you really want to get to know something well and you don't have all the prompts and the help that's provided by the electronic homework system. Also in here, back here, you can click on eTextbook, an electronic version, showing you cover, and you'll pull up the table of contents here. Go to chapter 1, start chapter 1 at the beginning. And that's for people who like to read but don't want to pay for the paper book. You get lots and lots of detail, more information than you probably want, but it's all here. So if it's like, I don't understand why blah, 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 it's probably in here pretty soundly. You do a lot of detailed explanation, walking you through how to do transactions and so forth and make financial statements. So they're great examples here. Now you can get the same exact thing in modules except chunked. Back over here in modules, click on this. Once this pops up, click on accounting activities and users, the EText here in purple, and that'll take me to pretty much the same exact place I was. And in fact, you can see from the size of my slider here on the right, I have a whole lot of content to follow. It takes me all the way through to the end of the chapter where I reach end of chapter homework, glossary, some practice questions with answers, and practice exercises, and then questions, and real brief exercises, typically 1 or 2 concepts, very short, a few minutes to do. Do-its, regular exercises, a little bit longer than a brief exercise, and then kind of cumulative, several concepts all together in one place, you end up with problems. And there are problem set A here, and typically there are very similar problem set B and problem set C in the Explore section that I showed you earlier. Those are also available on the Student Companion website that's linked in our Laulima course menu. So if I wanted to do problem 1-2A, I'd find it right here. Here's my descriptions. And the amounts here and the amounts in Wiley Plus may be different. But typically the rest of the sentence that's in a description is the same sentence. It's just you may start with different dollar figures, and the dollar figures that are in the transactions will be different, so that basically everybody's going to have a different answer. And you can also do some highlighting here if you want. There's a whole thing in here about how to do highlighting and use the book as a study tool, which is well advised. So last thing, if you really need some support in Wiley Plus, to Wiley Plus support, and you need to contact support, you'll follow through with this. Last thing, grades. So since I haven't actually done any assignments, my grades don't look so hot over here, but this is a place to go and check it out and see what you have and how much you've earned so far. Adaptive practices are 5 points, assignment 0 is 10, and all the other things vary from like 1 to 5 points depending on how long they are. Alrighty, well, I hope this helps. I know this is a lot of stuff to absorb, but you can go back and replay this if needed. Thanks for signing up for our course, and I hope you enjoy the class. If you have any questions or comments, please post it in our open forums up on Laulima, the general forum, or our Wiley Plus issues forum. Thanks. Have a great class.